Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is YAHMAD. We're going to be looking at paper 3 from the CIE ICT IGCSE course. We're looking at the older papers, so we're looking at the May-June 2016 paper because I want to redo the website section using Microsoft Expression Web 4. So we're going to be redoing this video. I have previously created this video using Dreamweaver. So let's scroll down. So the evidence documents I've already created and opened up. So I've got my name in the header, and also my center number and my candidate number. So let's go down to page 4. Task 3 is a web page. So I am going to be using Microsoft Expression Web. So you are going to develop a website for the Goa Elephant Sanctuary to raise awareness of the project. Viewers of the website may have a slow internet connection, so efficient markup must be used. So the first thing we need to do is to create a new folder called 1632_HTML. So if you go to your source folder, let me go back. So summer 32. These are all our files. We need to create a new folder. Right click new folder and rename the new folder as 1632_HTML. And then what we need to do is basically locate the following files and place them into your new folder. So we need to locate the image files from 1 to 8. So the best thing we can do is we can change the view to details. The image pictures from 1 to 8. I'm pressing Ctrl and Shift to select multiple files, and we can move them into our folder. Okay, and the next picture I think was the logo picture. Let me just double check and confirm. Yes, 1632logo.jpg. So let me just basically move the last picture in. Okay, job done. Right, so question 18. We need to create a new web page called 1632GES. Okay, so I think that GES stands for the Goa Elephant Sanctuary. So let me just copy that name. So let me open up Microsoft Expression Web 4. To make a new page, we go to File, New, and we select HTML. And let's click on Design. Before we do anything, let's save the page into our folder that we just created. So let me keep going back. Summer is 32. This is the folder we just created. And let's type in a file name. So 1632GES. Okay, you don't need to change the file type since we've already opened up the HTML page. It's going to save it into that format. Okay, so once you've done that, now let's look at the next part. This web page must work in all browsers and will have a table structure as shown below. Each table cell is identified with a letter and all dimensions are in pixels. Okay, so what we need to do is basically create this table here. So before we make the table, let's identify how many rows we have. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. How many columns do we have? 1. So this is 1 column here. 2, 3, and 4. So to create a table, we go to Table, we click on Insert Table, we type in 4 rows, and we type in 4 columns. Okay. Now what we can do is see how wide the table is. So the table is going to be 736 pixels wide. So we can specify how wide the table is going to be. So let's type in 736 and we can select in pixels. Let's press OK. So we have the table. So we don't need to focus on the height because when we resize each of the cells, the height will, or the table will change accordingly. So the first row and the last row, as you can see, are merged across. So let's highlight the first row here. Right click your mouse, click on Modify and select Merge Cells. And to merge the bottom row, again highlight all of the cells, right click your mouse, click on Modify and then Merge Cells. Okay, so now we can put in the dimensions for the cells. So cell A, which is this cell here, the height is 172 pixels. So to edit each of the cells, we can right click on it, go to Cell Properties, we don't need to specify how wide the table is because the table is already going to be 756 pixels wide. We just need to put a height in. So the height in pixels is, let me double check, 172. Apply. Again, let's go to the bottom row. We don't need to specify how wide the bottom row will be because we've done that. The table will be 736 pixels wide. We just need to specify it's going to be 140 pixels tall. So let's right click, let's click on cell properties, click on specify height and type in 140. Make sure you have selected pixels. Click apply. Okay. Now since all of these cells are going to have the same size, we can do it all together. So it's going to be 184 by 140. So let's highlight all of these cells here. Right click. We can go to modify. Oh, sorry, cell properties. Yeah. And it's going to be 184. And the height will be 140. So let me just double check. 184. Yep. And the height always goes second. Yep. Happy that. Apply. And that's looking good so far. Okay. So if you go to the code, this is a HTML. You can see the table is 736 pixels wide, and then we've got the dimensions for each of the cells as well. So TR stands for table row. Each of these tags has to be closed. So to close a tag, you need to have the backward slash. So this tag opens the row, and this tag with the backward slash closes the row. As you can see, we only have one TD because what that means is in the first row we have one cell. Now if I highlight the second row, and then if we go to the code, so you can see in the second row we have 4 TDs. These refer to each cell, and this is basically the second row. So TR refers to the row. Obviously we close. This piece of code refers to the next row, which is the third row. If you go back to design, see this is now highlighted. You have 4 TDs which refer to the table cells. Okay, and then in the final row of the table you only have one TD because we only have one cell. If you go down, let me just highlight that again. Yeah, so that's the last row. Okay, so that's all done. Table borders and letters shown in the table must not appear on your final web page, so do not show these letters. I'm going to highlight table borders because we'll probably have to come back to that at some point later on. Okay, now for question 19 in cell A. Cell A is the first row. Place the image 1632logo.jpg. So to place a logo in the first row, you can click on the first row, click on insert, picture, from file, let's go to the right folder. So summer 32, and we want to select the logo picture. Let's include the alternative text. So if the picture does not load up, this text will be displayed instead. Obviously the picture is a little bit too big for now, but it's fine. Let's look at the next question. So resize this image so it's 730 pixels wide, maintaining the aspect ratio. So to resize the picture, right click, go to picture properties, appearance, and we can resize the picture so 730 pixels wide. Make sure this option is ticked to maintain the aspect ratio. So the height will change accordingly. Let's press OK, and now the picture fits within the table. If you forget to include the alternative text, you can always right click, go to picture properties, and include the alternative text here. If you go to the code, the alternative text is shown here as well. So if the picture does not load up, this text will be displayed instead. And you can see the dimensions of the picture. So 730 by 163. And this is a picture that's basically being imported into that cell. Okay, so it's a 1632logo.jpg. Right, so the next question, let's move forward. Using the most appropriate images from image 1 to image 8, place in a cell. So B, C, D, and E. Where's B, C, D, and E? So it's going to be the second row. So what we need to do in B, an image of an elephant in a river. So this is B. So if we go to insert picture from file, and we need to select, if you can't see, we can go to extra large icons, and that's the elephant in the river. Let's include alternative text, so elephant in the river, paste it in. Okay, so this is now in C, elephant ride. Okay, so again, if you click on the cell, go to picture, from file, and if you go down, we can hopefully find a picture of the elephant ride. Let's include the alternative text. If you go back, now it's going to be D. D is going to be a stream in the jungle. Okay, insert picture from file. Let's select the stream in the jungle. So I think that's the stream in the jungle. Include the alternative text. And finally, let's see, and E is going to be the garden. So E is this one here. So that's basically the second row complete. So E is the garden. So insert picture from file. That's the garden. Let me get the alternative text. Yeah, we can just write garden. Okay, so if we go to code, you can see the pictures have been inserted. So there was image 2, image 7, and you can see we have also the alternative text displayed as well. Okay, so we'll go back to design view. Whoops, why have I clicked on that? So that's that question done. Make sure appropriate text is displayed for each image if not available. So that's what we've been doing when we've been inserting the text. If you forgot to, you can always right click, go to picture properties, and include the alternative text here. So I like to do it when I'm inserting the pictures. Now we're going to be inserting some text on F, G, H and I. So F, G, H and I, we're going to include the following text. So elephant bath time. So let's paste that in. Okay, elephant rides. Trek up a jungle stream. And chill out in our tranquil gardens. Okay. And then what we need to do is basically set all of this to H1. So we can highlight the font or the text, apply H1. And I think later on when we attach a star sheet, this will change according to the star sheet specification. So elephant rides, H1, and elephant bath time. And if you go to the code, at the start of the text you got H1, and then you close with a backward slash on H1. If you wanted to change this, you could put H2 here and then H2 here if it was meant to be H2. Right, so that's that part done. Okay, so now question 23, place in a cell J. Place in cell J. J should be the last row, yeah. The text updated by, and then followed by your name, center number and candidate number. So J is the last row. So let's click, follow updated by, let's type in your name. Let's include your center number, so we'll use 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the candidate number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then we have to set this as H2. So let's highlight the text. And we can apply heading 2. Okay. Centerline the table in the browser and save the web page. Now there's two ways of doing this. If you click on the table, we can click up here, and that center lines the table, and then you got align equals center. Okay, so that's the first way of doing it. Okay, let me press Ctrl Z. Okay, so the second method of center aligning a table has been used in previous mark schemes. So if you go to the HTML code, and if you go to the top of the code for the table, so within the style we're going to embed some CSS. So after here, before the speech marks, let's include a semicolon to finish this part of the code. and type space, and then what you need to do is type in margin and then select margin left and select auto, semicolon to finish that piece of tag, and then what we need to do next is to type in margin right, and again we're going to select auto, and again we're going to include a semicolon. So we're basically going to set both margins as automatic, so left and then margin right will be automatic as well. So if we go to design view, you can see now the table has been center aligned. So what the examiners are looking for is this piece of code to show that you've changed the table's alignment to automatic on the left, on the right, which will basically by default make the table center aligned. Right, so that's that part done. Okay, so now we have to create a new cascading style sheet to be used for the website. All color codes must be in hexadecimal. Make sure your style sheet contains no HTML. So the specifications for the style sheet are basically shown below here. So let's save the changes. Let's create a new style sheet. So go to File, New, CSS. And before we do anything, let's save the CSS style sheet in the same folder. Because we're in a CSS file, it's going to automatically save in that format. So let me just see if there's a name. So save the style sheet into your 1632_HTML folder. Use a file name style, so STYL followed by your candidate number. So I'll type in 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure the Manage Styles panel is open. If you don't see it, you can go to Panels and click on Manage Styles. Okay, so let's have a look. First of all, the background color of the web page is going to be black. So to create the background, we need to create the body tag. We go to background. So make sure you don't put a background color here. This is just for the font style. So if you go to background, we can select black. Whoops, we can just click down actually and select black from this option here. So make sure you got the hexadecimal, the hashtags to make it into hexadecimal format. Let's click apply. Right, now you'll see we need to use the most efficient style. So H1 and H2 both share the same fonts. So we're going to do that together. So new style, let's type in H1, comma, H2. And the first font that will be used is Helvetica. So you can type that in. So you can either select it from the options here and then move them about. I'm just going to copy and paste them, or you can type them in, it's up to you. Helvetica. If that's not available, then Arial. Okay. And if that's not available, then the browser's default sans serif font. Now you can simply copy and paste it in like that. Okay, so H1 and H2 will share the same font. If I click on apply, that's one way of doing it. What you could have also done is if I go just modify H1 and H2, if I delete this, you can click down and find Arial Helvetica sans serif, click apply, but you'll notice I can't move this to the front. I can't copy anything. So if you click apply, then what you could have done is cut this Helvetica and placed it before Arial. Okay, so what the browser will do is basically it will use Helvetica for H1 and H2. If that's not available, then the browser will use Arial. If that's not available, then the browser will go for sans serif as the default font. Okay, now we have separate values for H1 and H2, so we've got to create them separately. So let's click on new style, H1. We don't need to set a font family because that's been set already. The color is going to be white, so let's select that. The size is going to be 30 pixels high, so let's make sure PX is included. Alignment will be center, and style will be italic. So go to block for alignment, click on center, click apply. That's that done. Again, let's make a new style for H2. And what we need to do is set the color. Okay, so the color we need to put into order. So it's going to be FF for red. So let's just select black for now. For red it would be FF, which is full red. For green it's also going to be FF. I think we're going to get yellow color if we have nothing for blue. Yeah. And then 2 zeros, make sure you have 2 zeros for blue. So each component, color component, should have 2 characters. 20 pixels high, and the alignment will be right. So if I go to block, text align, let's click on right and click apply. Okay. And in a table, no visible grid lines or borders. So the internal grid lines and external border should not be shown. So what we need to do, because we want both the table and TD, we want the external border and table and the internal grid lines in TD not to show. We can do them together. Go to border and set 0 for the border's thickness. Okay, done. Save the style sheet into your folder, which we already did. We can press save. Okay. Evidence 1, take a screenshot showing the content of your style sheet. Place this into your evidence document. Make sure the file name is clearly visible. So what we need to do is basically print screen showing the file name here. So let's take a print screen. Let's paste. And let me crop the part away which we don't need, and I just want to include the code with the file name, and let's increase the size, make it really easy for the examiner to see the CSS style. So what we have here, H1 and H2 done together, is the most efficient way because both styles have the same font style. Okay, what you could have done is basically repeat this for H1 and H2, but that's not, using the most efficient syntax. That's basically making more work for yourself. Okay, so that's that done. Now we have to attach the style sheet that we just saved in step 25, which is basically this step here. Okay, so attach the style sheet saved in step 25 to the web page use saved in step 24. So that's basically this web page. Let's now attach the style sheet that we just created. Style 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's the one. When I press OK, the background should go to black. Yep, and this text has changed to white. Yeah, this has changed to yellow. Yep. So far, so good. Save the web page. And then for evidence 2, what we need to do is display the web page in the browser, take screenshot evidence of the page in the browser and place this into your evidence document. So to go to browser, let's first of all save the page, and then you can go to preview and select Chrome. So once you go into the browser, you may have to resize the browser so we can see the full page. So no, I'm happy with that. And you can see the borders are not shown as well. So that's exactly what we want. So let's print screen. Is it question 26 we're on? Yes, it is. What I'm going to do, let's move this to the next page. And let's paste the browser preview. Get the bottom part off. Make sure you include the top part, which obviously shows you're in a browser. Okay, and then what we need to do is basically evidence 3. So take a copy of the HTML and place this into your evidence document. And that's the last part. Okay, so let me just double check. No, that's something else. So let's go to our HTML source. Let's copy everything. And let's place it into the evidence document. Okay, so let's have a look at this HTML before we finish. So here at the top is evidence. The style sheet has been attached. So can you see style STYL1234? That's the first thing that's likely to be marked. Then we've got properties for the table. We've got the margin left and automatic, and margin right, which is automatic, which will basically center align the table. And then we've got the picture that's been resized. So SRC equal and the picture. We've got the alternative text which has been included. So all of this code includes lots of different marks. So here's this image here. So SRC 1632 image 2 JPEG with the alternative text, elephant in a river. We got a name at the end as well. So make sure you copy the HTML. What some people have done in the past is they've seen HTML here and they've copied this line here. This line of this address will not give you any marks. Make sure you are copying the full HTML source here. So remember, when it says take a copy, you're going to copy and paste. Take a screenshot, you literally have to take a screenshot. Okay, so we've come to the end of the May-June 2016 website section using Microsoft Expression Web 4. I hope this video is useful. Please like and share this video. Please drop your comments below. If you want any videos making, please let me know. And please, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to your channel. Thanks again for your time.